Christine from Hollisans Create. Today is Wednesday, not Monday, Wednesday, May 20th, and this is my FlossTube episode number 75, my channel. My channel is primarily about cross-stitch, sometimes some other crafty endeavors thrown in as well, but primarily cross-stitch. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back and visiting with me. If you are a new person who has wandered into my channel, I hope that you'll stay and find something inspirational for you and come back. And I hope that you all subscribe. I appreciate it very much. Today, I've got all the stitchy things and a kickoff to a SAL. So I'm going to kind of get right to it. It's a weekday, which means I also have to work, so I'm doing this kind of early in the morning. And it's actually a sunny, or going to be a really sunny day, which is our first one in a while. We've been hit with some pretty major storms. We had a Monday night, we had a tornado. Actually got kind of lucky. It flew kind of over where I am, landed about 10 to 12 miles east of us, luckily in an area that was a little less populated. And I had not really followed up to see, I didn't hear about any major damage, so that's good. Usually, even if you don't follow up, if there's major damage, you're going to know. But it's been overcast and rainy, and but today is actually sunny, so I wanted to get this done today. Let's kick off with, I'm going to kind of get right to, I have an actually I had two FFOs. My last FlossTube was on April 5th, so it's been about, 5-6 weeks, I guess, 5-6 weeks. So I do have two finishes. I have one here to actually show you. The other I sent off for finishing, and it hasn't come back yet. So I will show you that next time. But for this time, I was feeling very like I needed to do some springy stuff. And I think I started this just a few days after my last FlossTube. So the first day I ever recorded it, I must have started it on Wednesday, April 8th, which is also my son's birthday. He turned 28. He's my baby. I started Spring Fling. This is an oldie but a goodie from Blackbird. I've had this forever and a day. I bought it, I don't even remember when I bought it. Long time. But just never stitched it. So here's my finish. And you'll notice that my finish is just a tad different than the charted design. I'm not a huge fan of the alphabet stitching, and so I took that out, and I kept Spring Fling in. I put 2026 down here instead of the 2000 something that was up here. So it just kind of rearranged, and I added a few more doodads, and also made mine a little more rectangular because I have a frame that I want this to go into, and the other design was square. It's a lot harder to find square frames than really cute rectangular, frames. So anyway, there is my finish of Spring Fling by Blackbird Designs. So it will go into my to-be framed stack. And let's see, I started that on April 8th. I finished it on April 14th. And it was stitched on, I believe it's either a 36 or a 40 count Castle Rushes, which is a seraphim fabric. And I thought it was absolutely perfect. The called for was, this is such an old chart. This is like a loose feathers pattern number 13. So the called for was 30 count Glen Ellen blend, which you can't even get anymore. So obviously it's kind of that yellowish green, and I found that Castle Rushes, and I was like, oh, perfect. So anyway, so that one's done. The next one that I had started and finished was Liberty Trio, which is a designed by Rika from House of Stitch and Stash. So I will show that to you the next time. So the next thing I'm going to show you is I've been doing some framing. I had a couple of pieces framed professionally at a shop, KC Art and Frame here in Kansas City. And then I also ordered a couple of frames for some things that have been hanging that need to, or hanging in my closet. I hang all my finishes, and then have them in kind of a dark area. But anyway, so a couple of things. I finally got this one framed, which was my blessing sampler from last year. So this is Sally Spencer from Birds of a Feather. And I just, it's such a folk arty kind of style design that I just wanted something simple, to go around. So anyway, so that's what I picked. It's kind of a, if you see it in person, this is actually kind of a brushed, you see the grain. I don't know if I could even get this close enough for you to see it. And it really doesn't probably make that big of a difference. But it looks really good. It matches the colors that are on the urns. So that was kind of happy about that. A couple of the berries and some of the little bit of the lettering. So anyway, there's Sally Spencer. So Sally's going to go up on the wall. And then the next one that I framed, and I order my frames from Art to Frames, and I'm usually really happy with what I get from them. This was 2 years ago, 2024's Summer Holiday Sal that I did from Memorial Day to Labor Day. And this is Liberty's Welcome from Plum Street Samplers. And my husband actually picked this frame. If you'll notice, you got little gold stars coming out of the smokestack for the house, and then these look like little stars here. You got the gold star here. So I was looking at frames, and there's actually like little kind of star flowers in the frame, and it looks much better when the glare's not on it. It's not super shiny. It's a matte finish, but anyway, so there is my framed Liberty's Welcome finally. So it's going to get up on the wall next week. So I'm very happy with it. I just think it turned out exactly how I was hoping, which is what we all want, right? We just kind of sometimes have that vision in our head. Okay, so let's see, moving right along. I'm going to show you some whips. Then we'll talk about a few plans and the summer sale kickoff, and I have some giveaway goodies. Okay, let me start with the second design that I had chosen for my unfinished project to finish for the Sampler Guild of the Rockies that I belong to. My first one, if you remember, was the sampler that I finished and showed to you last time, which was the Contented Mind. And then I turned my focus to Coming to America. I keep it all just in the box that it came in, the project box. And here's the close-up. And of course, this, came out as the 400-year celebration of the landing in 1620. So it came out in 2020. It was supposed to be stitched at that time. My Mayflower's been floating around out in the Atlantic for a while. But I did get some progress. So I was happy with this. I'll show you this. Okay. So if you'll remember last time I was talking about that I had to frog all this because I had made a mistake by one thread. So annoying. But it has to be right. You can't really fudge it because of the way that it hits, on the edges. So anyway, got that fixed, came back down, moved this side back down further. Finished up here, except for I think I have to do one little red stitch on this chicken. And I think that whole middle section then was finished, the 1620. And then I decided to do the names over one. And so where the first, three names typically, would typically, if you stitched it over two, take up 2.5 lines. I got the first three names on one line. So I just need to finish working on those names and then do the bottom block. So this is kind of where I stand with it. I did, and I had to add a couple of more seagulls up in the top, and I got those added. So made some good progress. I'm pretty happy with this. Can you see that? That's better right there. As far as the detail, it doesn't show the linen color that great, but it does show the detail a little better. So hoping to get this one finished by Labor Day. We'll see. I may have to pay $10. Okay. Then the next one that I picked up, and I believe, well, I don't know that it's the next one I picked up because I actually didn't do any work. I'm looking at my book of days where I record what I stitch on a daily basis. I actually don't think I even picked this up maybe one day in April. Ooh, I didn't realize that. But it's gotten 4 days in May. And that's coming to, well, not coming to America 250 from Plum Street Samplers. I got this as a kit at the attic from summer school last year from Paulette. America 250. And this is what I've done in the 4 or 5 days work. So where I had left off before, I have now added in these 3 little flowers, added some more of the doodads, the flag, another flower, a couple of leaves over here. I finished off a leaf here, and I did the body of the flag. And I am stitching mine on 40 Count Boston by Seraphim, which is, as you can see, is kind of a blue-gray. If I back it out, that's a pretty good representation right there, but then you can't really see the detail on the stitching. So assuming you want to see the detail on the stitching, I'll hold it up close. So it's getting some progress. I mean, I feel like those 2 big things, the Independence Hall and that flag, were probably the 2 largest or more dense, motifs. We'll see. That eagle's pretty big, and you do have some solid stitching with the dates, but that's, that goes pretty fast, so it's not too bad. So that's my progress on America 250. I do not have a deadline on when I want to, finish that. I just want to finish it. Okay, so my 25th of the month stitch is Season's Greetings. This was started Christmas of 2025. Last year I stitched Noel Sampler in this method, and this year I picked Season's Greetings by Shakespeare's Peddler. It's a really lovely design. As soon as I saw it, I wanted to stitch it. I'm not a huge Christmas stitcher, but sometimes there are certain patterns that just, when you see them, they immediately click with you. And this was one. So I am stitching mine on, it's a Lakeside linen. Let me get this on this board. And it's vintage pecan butter. 40 count, because I'm a 40 count girl. And this is where I am. And I believe last time I showed this, I don't know. Maybe I don't remember what I had done. I think most of this was done, and I think I was working on this flower. This, I know I did all this in April on the 25th, and I know I did all this on April 25th. I might have added some doodads or, you know, finished up some little motifs. So you might notice that the colors in mine are a little more, ooh, you push that up and it gets really kind of eek color. Mine are a little more vibrant. I switched out a few of mine. I've had a couple of people ask me for thread colors. I am recording as I go because I just basically had gone to my stash, pulled out a whole bunch of reds and a bunch of greens, and along with some of the base colors, you know, the regular colors, browns, what have you. And I'm just kind of using them as I go, and then I'm writing it down. So anyway, loving it. I will have to probably pick up the pace a little bit if I want to actually get this one finished. May have to stitch it on the 24th and the 25th, something like that. 25th, 26th. So that one's Season's Greetings, Shakespeare's Peddler. So that's, let me show you this one. This one I am stitching with a group of friends. We get an assignment once a month, and we are getting down to being just about finished. Olga's Autumn Stocking by Plum Street Samplers. I'm stitching mine on 46 count Milk and Honey by Fiber on a Whim. And we are almost finished. So happy about that one. All right. Here she is. Don't you just love Olga? I love Olga. Love that nasty look on her face. And I have stitched Olga's Tart, which is part of that, you know, little series as well. I've stitched it quite a long time ago and have it out. So what we have to finish, because I'm headed this way, you know, to make the toe, is that red or black and white zigzag pumpkin, the big leaf that's above it. And I think there's a couple of little doodads. I put my pattern away already. A couple of doodads. So we'll get our assignment for June, which should wrap it up. And this puppy is done, and I'll probably have somebody finish it for me. But there is Olga's Autumn Stocking. I love it. This will be my first stocking to stitch like this. So I'm happy with it. I think it's cool. And I like the size is going to be a little smaller as well. So that's Olga's Stocking. And I believe it's all called for, though I will say I did change, I better point this out, I did change my pumpkin color. It called for Week's Chrysanthemum, and mine was awfully pink. So I switched it to Clockwork, and I really like the way it came out. A little more orangey, but it's got some variegation in it like a pumpkin might have. So, Olga's Autumn Stocking. Okay. Let's see. Oh, that's the... Okay. I think I talked about last time. Maybe I did not. I don't remember. If I talked about it, I'm going to repeat myself. And if not, you'll be like, oh, pleasant surprise. Okay, so another group of friends decided that on April 1, which I did not start on April 1, they were going to start a peacock, a unicorn, and a badger by the Scarlet Letter. Very classic design. I'm sure you've seen this one, full coverage, unless you are doing like I am and you are using green fabric. But it's a beautiful tapestry. Just love it, love it. So I will show you mine. I didn't get started, and several of the other group also didn't start on time either, because some people were waiting for their supplies. I think a couple switched threads, like we're going to start with DMC and then ended up ordering silks, you know, that kind of thing. So, but I think everybody got started in the month of April. So I am stitching mine on a fabric from number 12 Stitch Co., which is called Woodland Pine. And I am behind. There's no doubt I am behind. So I need to give it some love. I think with this one, I have done 1, 2, 3, 4. This is only 4 days work. Not too much. So I need to get this one going and get the first page finished. I think we're supposed to be finishing a page at a time. So this is my... At first, you know, I was a little concerned about whether I was going to like it on the green without actually stitching the green, because I thought, was that going to steal kind of the volume of doing a tapestry? But the more I'm stitching it, the more I'm liking it, because I had it back in my head, well, if I don't like how this is going to look, I'm just going to scrap it and, you know, stitch full coverage. But I think it's going to look fine. You know, I must have tried out, I don't know, 3 or 4 different greens. And I like this Woodland Pine. I think it looks nice with it. And not planning on, you know, being finished obviously this year, maybe by the end of next year. That's kind of, I'd be happy with it if it was by the end of next year. Alrighty. Next, I did show you this start, and let's see, I don't need a. This is Painted Flowers by Shakespeare's Peddler. Just a lovely spring stitch, spring into summer, beautiful flowers. I will say this is not the easiest to stitch. And I had heard, I think Jen Reagan from Jen Stitch Knitch, she was stitching it and she was making mention that it was kind of tough to stitch. She wasn't kidding. But I do like it and I will keep going with it. I have finished, I'm stitching mine on 36 count Ancient Ruin by Fox and Rabbit, which is a nice kind of grayish purple fabric. I think the called for was gunmetal, which is really dark. But anyway, I finished the first iris here, the big flower, and about half of that little one, and then ready to head up to the next one, which will get me some really good color added to the whole thing. I think it's going to look really beautiful. So Painted Flowers has had 2 days in May and 1, 2, 3 days in April. So there's 5 evenings worth of work. I hope you can see that because it really is lovely. But I think it's kind of hard to show sometimes because of the color of the fabric. When you look at it in person, it's so much more vibrant looking. Okay, and the last whip that I have to show you, this is what happens when I go 6 weeks or so without filming. I get busy and then I just don't. So I picked this one up, not at all in April. I just picked it up this week, actually. I picked it up on Sunday, the 17th. And because I've had it in the basket next to my chair and thought, you know, I'm going to put a little bit of work into it. This is Live on Little from Plum Street Samplers. Again, another project I received going to a retreat. And of course, it's in wide release because this came out in 2021. It's just beautiful. Gorgeous. And so I actually have gotten some work done on this week. And the more I kept doing, the more I was didn't want to stop. So last time I showed this, which I don't even remember when, I think I had the B and the L, and then I had the art to live, or maybe even just the art too. So anyway, finished all of the wording. I have done more brickwork on this house. Finished the roof. And last night and the evening before, I finished the outline of the sails, put the flags on, and are getting the waves done. I just have to do 2 little more scrolls in here, or 2.5 more scrolls in there, and all the waves will be finished. And that sets me up for fill-in. So I believe, as I'm going to talk about here in my plans in a little bit, I have a trip coming up in June, and so I'm kind of prepping this, and I think I'm going to take it because I'm setting myself up to do tons of fill-in. I'll have the sails on the boat and then all that water to fill in. So I work on the bricks, and then I get so like, oh, so I have to do something else. That's what's happened when I just put it down. So I thought, all right, fine, let's do all these little doodads. Let's get it set up so that I've got that solid stitching to get finished and fill in to do. And at a retreat, that's the best kind of thing to be working on, so you're not making mistakes because you're chatting. But anyway, so I do have a seagull to put in right here, and I think there might be one here. Finish the water. I'm not doing the funky little lobsters and see maybe a mermaid or something floating down in here, but I am going to add another couple of lines of water, so that's some more fill-in that I can do. So I'm just going to bring the water down just a little bit more. I love this, and I stitched this on the same linen that I used for last year's holiday summer sale, which was American Welcome by Paulette. They're very similar, nautical style. We had gotten them on 2 consecutive retreats with Paulette, and I just kind of feel like they're almost like sister pieces. So I put them on the same linen, and as soon as this one is finished, I'm going to start looking, and I'm going to do them in matching frames and have them kind of as duos, so to speak, sister designs. But I love it. I'm very happy with it. Really, really pretty. Really, really pretty. You can see that better. Boy, that light really changes when you pull back and forth, doesn't it? Okay. So that one's going to get probably some more love today. Just so I can get, like I said, everything prepped and then put it away for the fill-in for my trip. Here's my thread ring with all the glorious colors. Okay. Lots and lots of whip work all done. Oh, and when you do order from Art to Frame, they send you can choose your backing style that you can use also for your pinning if you want to get a foam core. Or you can just get like a corrugated backboard that's used for backing if you use your own foam, which I did that with Sally Spencer. I had my own foam core that I had cut and pinned, and then just chose to get their regular backing and sent. But on Liberty's Welcome, because it's such a larger piece, I actually ordered the foam core to come with that, so that pre-cut, so that I could use it to do the pinning on. And they always send all of the little goodies for you to frame. You've got the the plastic bumpers, you've got screws, you've got the framing apparatus, you have even a little float so that you can hang it and make sure you're doing everything even. So I mean, and it's so inexpensive, but very good place to order from, Art to Frames. Okay, let's see. So real quickly, in the plans section, I have, let's see, 4, 5, 6. So this is, I believe, my 7th year of picking a design and starting it on Memorial Day with the goal of finishing it by Labor Day. And a couple of years ago, it was suggested strongly that I should assign a hashtag to it and make it a Sal. Before that, it was just loose. I would say, this is what I'm doing this year. If you want to join me, join me. And I primarily was picking Paulette from Plum Street Samplers, Rhode Island style samplers. So I have, and I can insert a picture to show you the four that kind of started this whole thing off, and I had them framed the same and they are displayed together, and I'll insert a picture. Then I started picking a couple of different things. This year, for the hashtag Hollis, my son named this. It's a whopper name, I'm sorry. Hollis Summer Holiday Sal. And that's because it starts with Memorial Day and ends on Labor Day. Hopefully. So if you're interested in joining and you want a hashtag, I'd love to be able to, or tag me. I'd love to see your progress. You don't have to pick a Plum Street. You can pick whatever you want. This year, I had another design picked, and then as a market release, this one came out, A Worthy Patriot. And I was like, oh gosh, sorry. I had to shelve my other idea, and I'm going to do A Worthy Patriot. I was looking at the model and talking with Paulette in Nashville, and I said to her, what do you think? You think I can finish this one? And it's 191 by 280, so it is bigger than the Rhode Island style, but it's not necessarily bigger than Liberty's Welcome. And that has a lot of stitching, and I was able to finish that one. And so we were looking at it, and she's like, there's more doodads. She goes, but less solid stitching. So we'll see, right? I'm going to give it my best shot. I am using the Called For Coffee Stain by Cedar River. I have all of my threads prepped and ready to go, and on a lovely, can you see that? The bezel with that makes it hard to see in there. Anyway, it's at 1776 and has like an eagle and everything. So patriotic thread holder. It's going to go in my Christy bag. Christy Crosshatch Quilts made that for me. And it is ready to roll because Monday, this coming up Monday, May 25th, is Memorial Day. It's early this year. That's the other reason I'm getting literally, I think, an extra 2 weeks this year to finish this puppy. It starts Monday, May 25th, and Labor Day isn't until September 7th. Last year it was like September 1st. So I'm getting another 7 days there. So I'm really hopeful. I think I can do it if I just buckle down and do it. No squirrels. So if you want to join me, again, I'll show you this card. I would love to see what you're stitching. I do know some people already who have said that they are going to join. And here we go. Can't believe it's that time of the year again already. Crazy. It does fly, that's for sure. Okay, so I was talking about that as a plan. Obviously, that's the plan for this coming Monday. So I'll be working on that. And then I mentioned a trip. I am going to be going to Spring Green to the Country Sampler retreat. What's it called? Stitch Camp? I think it's Stitch Camp. I have never been. I am very excited to see the store. I've heard absolutely nothing but just, great things about it. And I'm going to be staying with some friends in the apartment above the store. So that's exciting. We're going to go up on a Tuesday. I think it finishes on maybe Saturday afternoon, and I'll stay until Sunday morning. I'm going to drive. I think there's a few people from the Chicago area who are driving, and then there's others that are flying. So it should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I kind of, before I used to do same retreats, year. This time, last couple of years, I've just decided I'm picking places that I've never been, that I always wanted to go, and kind of saving my money for those particular retreats. And luckily, I was able to get in to this one, and I'm really excited about it. So that is also part of my plans. And for the stitching plans, you saw what I'm working on to get Live on Little ready, and then I'll be working on A Worthy Patriot as well. I might throw in another couple projects just to have, but if I do that too much, I run the risk of maybe not finishing A Worthy Patriot if I spend a lot of time on other things. So, but knowing the nature of a retreat, I probably could be working on that bottom band, which is solid stitching for A Worthy Patriot, if I don't have it already done. I don't believe Stitch Camp, let me look at my calendar. June 9th is when I leave. So that's, like 2 weeks worth. I probably will have that solid band of stitching already finished. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And other than that, I really haven't made a ton of plans. My babies hopefully we are going to be able to book flights tomorrow. Brittany got confirmation that she will have Zakeo and Alaska's passports. Alaska was up for renewal because she's now 5, so she's had her passport for 5 years. And Zaki, they are supposed to be able to pick the paperwork, his certificate of birth, born abroad, and his passport and everything up on June 5th. And they're supposed to be traveling at the end of June. So talk about a squeaker. I have fingers and toes crossed and whispering prayers that indeed there's no delay and the paperwork truly is ready to go on June 5th when they're supposed to go back to the consulate. So anyway, we're going to try to book flights tomorrow, actually. And we've been looking at different itineraries. My husband is going to fly to Milan and help Britt bring the 3 little munchkins back. And then Paolo, her husband, will fly over at the end of July. And we're doing a big family vacation on LBI, which is off the coast of Jersey. It's where we used to take the kids every summer, multiple times, because my husband's aunt had a really cool house down on LBI. She's since passed, and so obviously we don't do that anymore. But my kids, when I mentioned how would you like to do, vacation on LBI, all of them, they're all adults, were like, yes, because they just loved spending lots of time down there. So we rented a big house and on the ocean side, and I'm very excited about that. So we're going to be doing that in the first week of August, into July, first week of August. And so road trip, my husband said road trip with the grands. He goes, we haven't done a road trip with the little ones since our kids were little ones, and they're 36, 33, and 28. So it should be fun. We'll see how it goes. I think we're literally going to rent like a Sprinter van to put everything in to drive. Brittany is she's such a whack job about flying. She just does not like to fly. And I said, well, you live in, you picked how far away could you get, to be able to see us, you have to fly. But anyway, I'm very excited. And so I haven't made a ton of other plans because all of our plan lists for the summer includes things to do with the kids. Like there's a couple of library story times for the girls that we want to take them to in the mornings. We want to go to the Arboretum. We want to go to, there's Anita Gorman has a really cool conservation center here in Kansas City. She is a patron of all the parks here in Kansas City, and they have tons of kids programs. My daughter has already ordered a moth trap. I know it sounds a little strange, but it's a really cool thing that you assemble, and she's assembled one at her house in Milan. And my oldest, Alaska, absolutely loves looking every morning to see what new moths have come into it. And when I say trapped, they're not really trapped. They can get out any time, but it's an attraction to them. And you get to see all the different, kinds of moths. And then she looks up to see what kind of, um, what they came from, butterfly, cocooned from, like caterpillars and things. I mean, she's trying to teach Alaska science, and they actually assembled this thing. Brittany collected some different parts to make it, but there's bases that you can also order. So she did. We're going to do that over here, see what kind of North American moths we can come up with. So we have a whole list of things, and attractions, and of course we have the swimming pool and that we're going to be doing with them. So I that's primarily my plans. Okay, let's move on. About 40 minutes. So let's give away some of the things that were set up from last time. I had 3 things. I had a animal cracker needle keep with Lily on it. I'll show you Lily. This is the needle keep. It comes with the little felted heart there, and you can make your own little needle keep to match Lily. And the winner of this one was Tammy Higgins 4932. Tammy Higgins 4932. So if you are a winner of any of today's things, if you will email me at the email that's going to be listed below, and give me your physical address, I'll mail this right out to you. So Tammy Higgins, congratulations. The next thing that I had were some goodies from Market that I picked up. So a wonderful little stack of linens. There's 5 in this little stack from the Primitive Hair. I believe they were all 30 count. And I had 5 shortcuts of some Gentle Art threads. And I tried to pick ones that were, super popular, like Raven and blue. So you got blues, greens, red, claret. You've got some autumn colors, terracotta, nutmeg. So for linens and threads. And this one was super popular. And I think I have some more. I may be able to do this one again, maybe next month. This one was Carol from Peter Brown 2305. Thank you, Carol, for playing. Carol from Peter Brown 2305. Email me with your address and I will get this goodies mailed out to you. And then the next one was this reproduction by Needlework Press notebook with kind of a patriotic style on the outside, with these really cool linen paper pages. And this one also was popular. I was very excited. I do these random. I just do a random pick from anybody who has left the keyword. And this lady, I was very excited when her name came up because I've been working with her to do kits. And it's Joanna Cotton. So Joanna, congratulations. You won the notebook. Joanna Cotton. I actually have your address, but if you'd still email me, just acknowledge that you know that you won this. That would be fantastic. And Joanna Cotton. So congratulations to the 3 winners. Thank you so much for participating. And again, if you if you didn't win this time, you might win the next time. And I do have something I'm going to offer for the next video. And I went to a stitch day with Jackie on Instagram. She's Jax444. She has a floss tube called Comfort Stitcher. And she just lives maybe half an hour from me. And so she's been hosting a stitch day, like once a quarter or so, maybe once every 3-4 months, at Florilegium, which is a fantastic store there in Weston where she lives. And so I was able to attend my first one and had a great day. There were probably, maybe 30 people there or something like that. It was a lot of fun. Matter of fact, Alma from Blackbird came up. She was in town, and so she came up and stitched with us. And it was good to see some faces, some friends I hadn't seen in a while. I haven't been out super much, especially with the knees from this last year of having knee surgeries, replacements. But anyway, we had a wonderful lady who came, and she gave project bags and had mentioned, if you have floss tube, you can give it away. And I'm going to. So this is Loes Hills Needleworks, L-O-E-S Hills. Yeah, I think that's, or maybe it's Loes Shills Needleworks. That could be. L-O-E-S-S-H-I-L-L-S Needleworks. So I think it's Loes Shills Needleworks. Anyway, she gave me this bag, and I am going to gift it to the person whose random comment of project bag is selected, and it has a really nice little sparkly ball doodad on the zipper pull. Really pretty fabric. So if you're interested in this one, just comment, leave your comment with project bag, and make the mark there so I know that that's what I'm searching for. Okay, I do have some haul that I'm going to share. Not a ton, but I am going to show just a few things. And because I just showed you a project bag to give away, I have to show you a couple of project bags that I'm keeping, that I bought for myself, because I don't know why. I think I need more. But anyway, this one is from Wildberry Stitching. She posts her things on Instagram and then has them in her shop on Saturday mornings. And I just love the fabric. I think it's so pretty. So springy, and the butterflies, and it's gorgeous. Look at that. Oh, love it. And she constructs a really nice bag. So I thought I would share that one, Wildberry Stitching. I'm probably creating some more competition for myself to get these bags. And then Tara from Starry Owl Stitchery, also, which I've been buying her bags for a while. Just a lovely, well-constructed bag, and I just love this fabric as well, and it's a French General, and so I picked up that one. Great bags. Those two stitchers just do phenomenal work. They're almost identical in the way that they make their bags. They're just really beautiful. So anyway, so thought I'd share those. I did get my Threads of History kit from Country Sampler. This time was from Little Robin Designs. You get two. You get a sampler, which was Betsy Wilmot. And then we get a little bonus pattern with each this year. And it's Freedom Still Rings. So that's cool. I really like Robin. She's really nice. I love chatting with her at market. She's just such a nice lady and a really excellent designer. So that arrived. I did buy a couple of other things. I'm sure a lot of you follow Christy Green, Daisy K's Primitives. And I don't know if you know, she has a little Etsy shop, but she does. And she made these clay pins. It comes with a little tag, but I thought I'd hold that so you can see this better. So I ordered those from her. She only lives, I don't know, half an hour maybe from me. And so those came. I just love those because I'm getting ready to pull out all of my patriotic stitching and designs and decor, and so I thought, well, that'd be cool to add those maybe to a couple of pillows or something that I have. And then last thing I have to show you that I got was, I'm sure you're probably familiar with Willow Hill Samplings. I don't know, I was just doodling around on Etsy and looking at, different patriotic things, and happened to run across her designs for her Birth of a Nation series. And I absolutely love all of them. And so I ordered, you can order them individually, or you can order the set of 5, I believe it is. And so I ordered the set of 5. And the first one is crossing, or maybe it's not the first one, it's the first one I'm showing you. Crossing the Delaware, if you can see that. Oh, it's definitely not the first one. Hang on, I think they actually are in date order, if I look. Yes, I should have shown you this one first. Boston Tea Party. So 1773, Boston Tea Party. So that's the first one. Then 1775, Paul Revere's Ride. And as you can see, there's a lot of solid stitching. But I just think these will be so cool to have up as a set. Then the Crossing the Delaware in 1776. And then 1777, Betsy Ross. She's sitting there stitching the flag. I've been in her house. I don't remember having a stitching place look like that, but it's a good depiction. And then the final is We the People. I don't know when I'm going to do them, but I sure love them. And I didn't not want to have them. So this is 1787. So, Birth of a Nation series, Willow Hill Samplings. Her shop is on Etsy. These are available as PDFs. And I've already been scouring through some large cuts of fabric that I have, and I think I have zeroed in on one that I'm going to use for all 5. And yay, very excited about those. I do love those. Of course, Paulette at Country Sampler, it's going to be Paulette and Teresa Vanette from Shakespeare's Peddler, and Kimberly Nugent from Samplers Not Forgotten, and the theme is, of course, patriotic. So, Paulette's going to derail me, I'm sure. So, because she puts out these new designs, and I'm just like, I got to stitch that. I thought about maybe even doing, for next year, a year of Plum Street. We'll see. I actually only have, I think I have 5 Plum Street whips, and Olga's about finished. Live on Little, I could potentially get finished here pretty quick too, and because I want to get those frames ordered to put that one in American Welcome up. I have, I want to say 3 or 4 others, and I think that they are Ghoultide Welcome, which is Halloween. And, I think maybe another 1 or 2. I might have that in my book, but I don't know. So I was kind of thinking, maybe of doing something like that. Let's see if I can see real quickly. I'm not going to have you hang on forever while I'm looking. Yes, a Ghoultide Welcome is one from her. Oh, America 250. And let's see, what else do I have? Maybe because Olga's stocking and Live on Little, so maybe that's it. But I do know that the Williamsburg sampler, which I believe is coming out in the fall, that's going to be one that I'm definitely going to have. It's another Rhode Island style inspired sampler, so I'm definitely going to have to stitch that. And I would imagine the one that we're going to be getting in June is going to be beautiful, and I'm going to probably have to stitch that. And then I already have kind of a plan for next summer's. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I definitely have some whips that need to get finished. And I've been trying to, for the most part, other than smalls, I've been throwing in some smalls. Clearly, we call it pub. Peacock Unicorn Batcher is not a small, but that's a long-term thing with friends that's fun, and it'll get finished because I'm doing it with friends, and it won't languish in the basket. So I'm trying to keep myself somewhat under control and not chasing too many squirrels. So I can always just get some things and add to stash, and sometimes when I get like that, I can just go up and dig in my stash, and that makes me feel better, and I can go back and stitch what I'm supposed to be stitching. So, okay, I'm rambling, so let's get this wrapped up. If you're participating in the giveaway, please don't say giveaway or freebie or anything like that. You must be over 18 because I need to have your physical address. And I hope you have an excellent day. I hope you have a happy Memorial Day weekend. I'll be going to visit my grandfather and grandmother's sites, and my grandfather's a Navy veteran, so we'll be doing participating in part of the ceremony that the cemetery actually does for veterans. And I'll be starting my summer holiday sow and kicking off unofficial kickoff to summer. Summer doesn't technically start till June 20th or 21st, but anyway, remember to create every day. I hope everyone stays well and enjoys the kickoff of summer, and I will see you probably in about a month. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.